This is Chapter 2, Lesson 8 on solving percent problems from California Math, your Common Core Edition, Course 1. So in this lesson, you're going to be solving these percent type problems. There are some similarities and differences between this lesson and Lesson 7. So in Lesson 7, the problems you did were taking 75% of a specific number. So you would be given what number you're taking the percent of. But here they're flipping it. They're saying 75% of what ends up giving you 30. So there's a couple of different ways to solve these types of problems. The first one they use is, they call using a number line as a model for 75%. So what does that mean? The key idea behind this is that 75% has a natural interpretation as a fraction. I talked about this in my Lesson 6 video. That was on estimating with percents. So 75% as a fraction is 75 or 100, and that can be reduced to 3/4. So what we're thinking of is 75% as representing 3/4 of something. So we draw this number line, and we divide it into quarters. So here's a half, 1/4, 3/4. So our 75% is corresponding to 3/4 of the number line. And now, right down below, we take another number line where I correspond my 30 to 75%. And then let me fill in the rest. So this is 75%. This was like the halfway mark, so representing half of something. A half is 50%. A quarter would be 25%. And then I have my 0%. And 100%. And let me think of what has to happen down below. So I'm corresponding 75% to 30. This 30 should be 3/4 of the way through the number line. So let me put my little marker at a half, a little marker at 1/4. So this is supposed to be a quarter, another quarter, increments of a quarter. And so how does this number line fit in if 30 is here? Well, starting from 0, I must move by steps of length 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40. And so what they're trying to get you to see with this picture is if I correspond my 75% to 3/4 of the way through, and that's going to be 30, then I must have taken 75% of 40 to get my 30. So the answer to this question, 30, is 75% of what number? 40. What's nice about this picture is that you could then answer other questions. I could say 10 is 25% of what number? And now it would also be 40, because what this picture shows is that 25% corresponds to 10. 25% of 40 is 10. Another way to say this, which I think is equally as important, is thinking of 25% as a fraction, 25% as a quarter, and a quarter of 40 is 10. So that's one method, but now let me show you another way to do these problems. And this second way turns out to work a bit better when your percent maybe isn't so nice. See, 75% is nice because it does correspond to this nice natural fraction, 3/4, but if your percent is more messier, say 62%, then drawing this picture might be a little bit more tricky. So this second method works for any percent. Not just nice ones like 25%, 50%, and 75%. Right, so that was using a number line as a model. Let's do this second method. And I do like this second method a bit better because, as I said, it works on not just these nice percents like 25%, 50%, and 75%, but works for other percents as well. And so you're thinking of this 75% as this fraction. And the way to use this fraction is to think, okay, I'm taking 3/4 of some number, and I'm not sure which one, and I'm getting 30 out of that. So 3/4 of my whole number, I only get 30 out of that whole number. So this is what you need to fill in. This is the mystery. What is the denominator in this fraction? Right, so that's the key step, so I'll explain it one more time. We interpret our percent as a fraction. I'm saying 75% of what number, so like the whole, gives me 30. And now using our ideas from equivalent fractions, I can see what I need to do. I look at my numerator, and I must have multiplied by 10 to go from 3 to 30. So I have to do the same thing with the denominator. 4 times 10 would be 40. And that's consistent with our answer using the number line method. So let's see another example where I use this second method. So let's do 30 is 60% of what number? So example 2. 30 is 60% of what number? I'm leaving the previous example on the board, that way we can see the differences. I kept the 30 the same, but I'm changing the percent. All right, so what do? First? We treat this percent, we interpret it as a fraction. 60% is 60 over 100. And then maybe it's helpful to reduce this fraction, maybe it's not, but I am going to go ahead and reduce it just to make my numbers a little smaller. I think 20 goes into 63 times and 20 goes into 105 times. So I'll divide both my numerator and denominator by 20. So now I'm thinking of 60% as being 3/5. Here's the key part, so I'll do this slow. I'm taking 3/5 of some number, 3/5 of some number, and I'm getting 30 back. Right, the 30 coming from right here. So recall that's exactly what we did in example 1. In example 1, this was our unknown for a time being until we figured it out what it was by looking at the idea of equivalent fractions. We're in the same spot. I have to multiply by 10 to go from 3 to 30. Therefore, I must do the same thing in my denominator. So times 10. 5 times 10 is 50. So the conclusion is that 30 is 60% of 50. All right, so we're just being very careful where I'm putting the question mark. The question mark in these lesson 8 type problems is down here, whereas in lesson 7, you are given the number you were taking the percent of, and then you are finding the numerator. So it's very good to maybe compare at this point some lesson 7 problems with lesson 8, that way we can see exactly where the unknown is. I think it's worthwhile to do one more problem. 36 is 120% of what number? Let's give it a shot. Our approach will be exactly the same. If you want to pause the video and try the problem now, you should. So 120% as a fraction would be 120 out of 100. Once again, I reduce. It looks like both of these numbers are divisible by 20. 20 goes into 126 times, and 20 goes into 105 times. I now think I'm taking 220% of some number, and I'm getting 36 back. So after I take 120% of some number, I get 36. So we see that we're at the same position as we were in both examples 1 and example 2. I just need to figure out what do I need to multiply my numerator by. Here's 6 times 6 will give me 36. I do the same thing to the denominator. 5 times 6 is 30. So my final answer is 30. 36 is 120% of 30. In other words, 120% of 30 is 36. Now maybe I'll close by mentioning you can also check your answer. If you recall what you did in lesson 7, you could go back and just compute 120% of 30 and see if you get 36. So how do we check our answer in example 3? So let's do a check. I know that 120% of 30 can be found by taking my 120%, converting it to a decimal. My decimal place moves over 2 spaces to the left. This is a 0 with no non-zero numbers behind it, to the right of it, and this 0 comes after the decimal point. So I can simplify this number to 1.2. These are the same number. And now if I want to take 120% of 30, I take my 1.2 and multiply it with 30. I'm probably going to run out of room here, so let me move this multiplication problem over here to the right. Let me just remind you, we're checking our answer for example 3. We've answered example 3. Our answer is 30. Now we're verifying using our tools from lesson 7. I'm taking 120% of 30 and checking to make sure I get 36. So here's my 120% converted to a decimal. I want 120% of 30, so I'm multiplying this 30 by my decimal. So 30 times 1.2, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 3 is 6. Add that 0 for the placeholder. 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 3 is 3, and this always goes fast watching someone else do multiplication. Add, 6 and 0 is 6, and 3. I have a total of 1 decimal place, and all my numbers up top here, so 1 decimal place down below. And what do we see? We see 36. So we've confirmed our answer using our techniques from lesson 7. Good.